A review and demonstration of the Gerber Freeman Guide folder.
Alright. Boom. I was able to cut myself a little piece of kindling. Not very good at cutting feather sticks. There we got a little one. It's not like biting into the wood. It's trying to slip out. We got a little bit. But this is not its forte. It's not happy with me about that. It's doing them, but it's not very well. Let's see here.
Hello and welcome to Joe's Life 1. This is Joe. Sorry I was not posting any videos this week. I was camping out in Idaho. I didn't use, I got to use some of my knives. I didn't use this one, but I got to use some of my other ones and do some stuff for testing and review. It was pretty cool. Anyways, I wanted to do a review on this knife and get it out of the way. I started it before I left, and I just go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is the Gerber Freeman Guide folder. This is a hunting knife. It's a pretty thick knife. Holds well in hand. It's got a lot of jimping on it. Great grips. It's very thick, very robust knife. Feels robust knife, but yeah. So I bought this probably about 10 years ago. About 15 of them. I got them on a deal. They usually go for about 32 to 33 bucks. And I got a deal on them for between $16 and $18, I think. I don't know, a place that was going out of business. And so I think I picked up about 10 to 15 of them. And I handed them out as gifts. I gave one to my brother, who's kind of an outdoorsy guy, and so part of this review is going to come from his knowledge on it too. I've used it a bit, and yeah, so we'll just go from there. So this one's got a drop. So this comes in the Gerber Freeman comes in 4 variants. There's a fixed blade, drop point, fixed blade gut hook, folder, drop point, folder, gut hook. Got a sheath. Sheath's actually pretty nice for this. I've heard the sheath for the fixed blade isn't as nice, but yeah. My opinion on the knife, number one, is why would I want to wear it as a sheath on my belt when it's a folding knife? If it's a folding knife, I want it in my pocket. I guess some people do like that, but just not me. If I'm going to have a folding knife, I want it in my pocket. So if I was going to purchase this knife again, I'd definitely go with the fixed blade. That's number one. Number two is some people have had some issues with the steel on this, including myself. This one is a 15 CR MOV steel, which is a Chinese steel, I believe. And so my brother had some issues sharpening it, just being able to get the blade sharp because the steel kept folding over on him, he said. And I haven't had that issue, but he did. I do have a decent amount of experience sharpening blades, though, so that could be that. Um, Another issue I've seen on videos that the knife tip has snapped on people's knives because the steel isn't amazing. I had a buddy that snapped on his. I have not had that issue, but I also haven't beat up the knife the same way that a lot of people do. The one thing I can say is that you'll see at the beginning of this video I was striking the ferro rod, and this spine isn't very good for striking a ferro rod, so I would not use this knife as a survival knife. But you'll notice here that the blade is off to one side, and I've actually got it to go back just a little bit, but it's so far over that it's actually hitting the liner when it's coming in. Well, the first couple times the blade was actually hitting the liner, I think. That's not good. I probably would be able to fix it if I take it apart and put it back together, but we'll see. I may not be able to. This knife may be going in the garbage. But the steel on this knife, in my opinion, is an issue. Competitive option, I mean, just straight from Gerber, you got the Gerber Bear Grylls Scout. The steel's not, the information on the steel's not readily available, but the Scout here's got a better steel on it. It's a little bit thinner, has a clip, fits in pocket, fits well in hands, got great jimping. This knife can probably do what you're looking for and be more of what I would look for in a folding knife if I was going to get a folder. Cool knife. Not amazing, but cool little knife. This one, I would consider purchasing it. Number one, if I was a hunter and I didn't have very much money, I would purchase it in the fixed blade only, and I would just take care of it. Number two, I would consider purchasing it as a fixed blade for a young hunter that it might be his first hunting knife, and you're just kind of breaking him into hunting and getting him used to it. Other than that, Gerber, if you would put this in a better steel, and I mean like, even just Aus 8 or something like that, or just something a little bit better, I would consider purchasing this knife, especially in the fixed blade option. But you got to have a better steel. Stop making throwaway junk knives. This has got to be a good knife, man. I like the layout of the knife. I like the way it's designed. It's just, you need to have a better steel on there. I'd even pay a little bit more money. I'd pay, $35 for a D2 steel on that knife. I would. Maybe even make it a little more survival type knife. I would consider it. Anyway, you'll see I do a little bit of carving or a little bit of like survival type stuff or just fire starting stuff with this knife at the beginning. This knife couldn't even handle that. It wouldn't bite into wood very well. Probably the only thing this knife is good for is for hunting, and I would just be careful about how far you push that blade with a cheaper steel like that. Anyway, this has been Joe with Joe's Life 1. Thank you very much, and have a great day.